What's up everybody, I'm here with a highly requested video breaking down my backhand form. So today I'll be going over some of the swing cues, thoughts, tips, tricks that I used over the years to get where I am today, and I think the results speak for themselves. So let's get right into it. Just real quick, I use a power grip for every single shot on the disc golf course, and it looks like that. I put all four of my fingers underneath the rim, tucking my fingers deep into the disc right there, and then my thumb applying pressure on the top. I like to lay my thumb pretty flat, and gives me a consistent release for every shot, every speed of disc. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about has to do with my lower body. So when I'm in my backhand form, kind of in my X step area right here, I go and plant, I get to my full extension of my reach back, and then you'll see that my left knee starts to fold in toward the center of my body, kind of toward my right knee, before my arm goes. And what that does is it creates a lot of tension in your back, but it also helps you kind of direct the line you're trying to throw. I want you guys to focus on my left knee and watch as it comes in before I start to pull through with my body. Easy power. So you'll see me be reached back, full extension, the left knee will go, and then the upper body will follow. If you've heard about it, talked about before in many sports, is the lag. Same thing with baseball pitchers. You'll see them fire the hips first, and the arm will almost come backwards at the same time to then create tension kind of in the ab area. Same thing with disc golf. It's just a different direction, and it's more in the back. So that's the first thing I think about. It helps me kind of improve my accuracy, but also my distance. The other thing I do with my feet is the tempo that I walk down the tee pad with. And so you'll see I have a little bit of like a bounce in my step. So sometimes I'll even like do this on the tee. That way I can kind of get my tempo right. Tempo is very important. I think it's a big reason that a lot of players can play well in practice, but not in the tournaments, because when you get those nerves, you don't have kind of a swing cue or something that will cause your brain to say, okay, now it's time for this part of my body to activate. And so you'll see a lot of players, even when putting, they kind of do this sometimes and then pause and then go. So there's many different things that can kind of improve the timing aspect of it. So what I do is I try to keep every step about the same tempo. If anything, you want to start a little slower and then work faster as you go down the tee pad. But I'll kind of be like, I go 5 steps. So I go right, left, right, X, throw. And I'm really pausing on that last step, trying to kind of feel the tension in my back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, feel the tension, and then the left knee will go, and then the upper body will follow. So the next thing is the upper body. Now this is the most important part of the disc golf throw. You can have horrible lower body form, and it actually doesn't even matter, because as long as your upper body is in a decent spot, you can actually get decent results. The biggest thing I see people teach is, oh, the lower body is the most important part. I just don't think that's true, because if you pull through like this but have good lower body, the disc still isn't going to go anywhere where you want it to go. So the first thing with the lower body I'll talk about is making the box with the upper body. So if you're right-handed, this is how it's going to look for you. But the box is like the power pocket. It's right here. So you can see how my arm is directly straight. That's straight. There's a line from here to my left chest, and then my chest also, and it creates a perfect square. This is going to be 90 degrees. This will also be 90 degrees. And that's the perfect spot to get the most accurate results in terms of, hitting lines and stuff like that. Okay, another one from the side here, and you'll see I make the box. I make sure to get here every time. The biggest mistake I see people make is they collapse this elbow kind of toward their right rib cage, and all this does is cut off your arm's length as a lever, and so all it does is just shorten your distance. And it can also kind of take away from some consistency, because you're more just like arming the discs than you are letting your body throw the disc. When I'm throwing the disc, I pretty much have no tension in my arm. All it's doing is lagging behind, and then the body throws it forward. And so that kind of goes into my next point of the left shoulder. use the left shoulder to push the disc through the shot. So when I'm thinking of my form right here, I'm reaching back, full extension, and the left knee is gonna start, but I'm also gonna kind of shoot my left shoulder into my disc almost, like that. That'll get me to the box position, but I'll also continue this as I go to throw. And what I do is I project it off of my left shoulder like that, and it's snapping off kind of in this area right here. So it's really easy to kind of aim where I want because the left shoulder just pushes it through, and then all I gotta do is just open my arm at the very end of the throw naturally. I'm not actually snapping it or anything. It's the body generating all the power. That way you can take away these little variables, use your bigger levers to create more accurate and consistent results. One of the last things I'll talk about is moving around the disc. So I'm gonna use these two discs on the ground as an example of the cylinder that the disc should stay in the entire throw. So if I'm throwing this way, walking down the tee pad, you'll see I kind of lock it toward my left side of my body, and then as I go to reach back, it stays over this same spot. You see that? No matter where I'm at. So I'm not actually reaching back, I'm more waiting for my body to catch up, and then when I get to here, then I initiate everything that I just said. That is also one of the most important things for timing, accuracy. If my timing's off, I know that's probably something I'm doing wrong. I'll catch myself maybe going back a little early and getting out of that cylinder, but if you can keep it right in the middle there, move around the disc, then feel the tension and then snap it through with the left side of your body. And then one thing for me specifically in terms of swing thoughts is locking it to my left hip or kind of like my left rib area. So I'll be running up, kind of turning backwards a bit, and I'm trying to keep it behind me or even on my left hip, because then when my right foot leaves to go, I can swing it like that, and you can kind of see it's like a pendulum motion, and it'll hit the max reach back, and then I will do everything that I just talked about. But it's definitely kind of locked on my left hip. Here, boom. I've never been a huge fan of the pump. I think, unless you're Paul McBeth or someone that's been doing it for so long that has proven that you can get good at it, I don't think it's something that you should try to do. I think keeping it simple is the main thing. My form is very basic. I basically just keep it here the whole time, reach back, go through, and it happens just like that, so quick. There's no unwanted movement that is not necessary. It's just very efficient. I think it is a lot to do with what I think about when I throw these backhands. And that's when I saw myself really progressing in my career, is when I could get a hold of my backhand and put it wherever I wanted to. And when I say pulling through with the body, it's making sure you're not pulling with your arm across your chest, because all that does is put tension in your arm, take away from all the timing and all the lag that you build up in the throw. So I basically try to keep my arm pretty loose. Obviously we'll hit the full extension, and then the body, so the shoulders and the hips, will throw the disc. You can see all that's happening is this right here. It's super basic. That's all the reach back is. Here, as I go to turn, the elbow opens and then it collapses again, and then it gets thrown off of the left shoulder.
Is your right arm doing anything at all?
No, I mean, basically my right arm is pretty much doing nothing. I'm not actually pulling with my right arm. It's just the body propelling the arm. Obviously I'm not letting it collapse like this, so you want to keep it in a somewhat neutral position. You don't want to be kind of coming like that, because that's definitely going to throw off your timing. You want to keep it at that 90-degree angle right here. And so I'd say if anything, I'm just holding it in the same spot. I'm not actually pulling. So hopefully that can help you guys out, or Ben. One more thing to stay away from is making sure you're not coming up by your neck when you're throwing. So I make sure I have flat or even a little bit of Anhyzer. It's a more natural angle to get your elbow nice and high, because a lot of people struggle with dipping their elbow. And so I found whenever I put the disc on Anhyzer, that's a much more natural position to get the elbow high. It's hard to get the elbow high if you're like this, and you'll see a lot of people make it really difficult to hit your angles. If you need an Anhyzer shot and you're pulling through like this and your elbow's close to your body, you're not going to be able to hit your line or your angle or nose angle, anything. Suggest to pull through on a little bit of Anhyzer, because you can go from Anhyzer and then open it to a hyzer really simple. You see how easy that motion is. But you can also just keep it like that and throw an Anhyzer. Yeah, just keep it simple, keep it basic, and we'll go and show you guys some of these tips right now in action. So now I'm gonna throw a couple shots for you guys. We're gonna do one from the back and then one from the side to show you every angle. And then if you guys want, you can screen record and try it yourself. All right, so I'm gonna throw one from the back angle here, and you'll see how I lock it on my left hip, kind of swing up like a pendulum, and then pull through as my toe hits, and just use my left shoulder to pull the disc. Okay, those shots were probably about 50%. I'm gonna throw in about 80% to show you guys it stays pretty similar no matter what. That's gonna do it for the Gannon Buhr form analysis breakdown. Hope you guys enjoyed. I showed you guys what I do and why it works for me. I hope you guys can use these tips in your own game and see very quick results. So thanks for watching. Put in the comments below what you want to see next. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos soon.